Welcome back, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for Captain America, the First Avenger. Tagline for us is, handsome boy becomes handsome man, dies in the war. So, this movie, the budget was 140, it only made 370, so it actually did worse than Thor. Wow, I did not know that. I thought it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. I remember that much. Like, it's not great, but it's a good one. I'm going to put it over a couple of the other movies for sure. But a trip is, think about the trajectory here is Thor 2, not so great, and then Ragnarok is amazing. Iron Man, people didn't really like Iron Man 2, and a lot of people didn't like Iron Man 3 either. But some people liked Iron Man 3. I thought I liked Iron Man 3. We'll see how I like it again in the future. But we have Captain America, where the first movie, apparently people didn't care for it, and then Winter Soldier is considered probably like top 5 as far as MCU goes, and then Civil War is considered top 5 as far as MCU goes, so Captain America really went up there. And of course, this is probably the thing that has to do with it, is the Russo brothers. They directed Winter Soldier, directed Civil War, and then they end up directing Infinity War. But who did they replace? They replaced a guy named Joe Johnston. Joe Johnston directed the first Captain America, and here's an interesting thing about this guy's career. He started out as a visual effects artist and actor in Star Wars, but his directing credits, he directed Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, so a lot of people, this is before you were born, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, Jumanji, October Skies, Hidalgo, and then Captain America. Like, these are all movies I like a lot. In recent history, though, he directed The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, which was not very good. But he's going to direct the next Narnia movie, so good for him. He also directed Jurassic Park 3, which, you know, only movies anyone cares about Jurassic Park 1 and 2, so. He also directed The Pagemaster, which nobody remembers. But yeah, he's the one who gets replaced with Russo brothers, and everyone's just loving the Russo brothers, and they're doing a good job. They're doing a really good job. They're probably one of the higher pedigree for sure as far as MCU directors go. Oh yeah, okay, so do I think I'll like it? I'm sure I'll like it. I like Captain America a lot. I like Chris Evans a lot. I remember I liked it for reasons. Stan Lee cameo. No idea. Does Jinx remember what the cameo is? Don't tell me, but do you remember what it is? Jinx doesn't remember either. Okay, so I have no memory what the cameo is. And one of Jinx's comments is, yeah, Tommy Lee Jones is Tommy Lee Jones. He's not acting, he's just Tommy Lee Jones. He's Tommy Lee Jonesing it. But they got good, like, Chris Evans is a good actor. And then, I forgot her name, who plays Peggy, is a good actor. And, Winter Soldier. What's his name? Winter Soldier. Yeah, Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes is okay. Like, I don't know, like, he just doesn't have the charisma Chris Evans has. He just doesn't. He's just really good at looking broody. He's really good at that. But, not bad. I like Dum Dum Dugan, who's there for all of 10 minutes. And then Red Skull, good actor there. He's being played by, Agent Smith. If I didn't want to come back after this movie. Like, the early MCU movies were just a bit rough on everyone, unfortunately. So that's what happened there. And, yeah, he's one of the people who got burned by it. A lot of people got burned by the early MCUs. I think later now people like him more. Like working for it more. But back then, it's Hugo Weaving, the dude who plays Eccleston, who was the Doctor Who when they brought back Doctor Who. He's the villain in Thor 2. He didn't really enjoy it. Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, she really hated it. But I think now people really like working for it, but of course Chris Evans is getting tired. We're talking about things we don't need to talk about. So, Captain America. I'm sure we're gonna like it, so let's get going to it. Movie over. Okay, so good movie. It's a good movie, I like it. Real quick, the Stan Lee scene. I I don't know how anyone could remember that scene. I just don't. I thought he'd be taller. That's it. Really. It's kind of funny because of Stan Lee, but I don't know how you'd remember that one. If someone had to do trivia on just all the Stan Lee cameos, I think they'd be screwed. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I like the movie a lot. I like the movie. Of course, Captain America's always been my favorite between the two. I've always favored Captain America between Captain America and Iron Man. So no surprise, I like this one so much. It felt like the first time I saw the movie, This is like 2012, 2011. Um, just the seeing skinny Steve Rogers. I didn't realize it was CG. It's obviously CG. I didn't realize it was CG. Seeing it now, so many years later, like, oh, it's obviously CG. And if you're looking for it, you can tell. But if you're not really looking for it, you don't tell. You can't tell too much. But then he just becomes, actual Chris Evans, and you're like, oh damn, okay. I don't know. I'm still in my 20s when that happens. Wasn't that young and naive? How the hell? I just felt like something in my brain was like, wow, Chris Evans really bulked up after these scenes, apparently. But yeah, the CG wasn't bad there. It does feel like when they have Dum Dum Dugan and the other guys, because no one remembers their names. When you have all those guys, it feels like they were maybe considering like a spin-off with those guys, because they make them kind of characters. Of course, eventually it's Peggy Carter who gets a show, which eventually gets canceled. But just her got a show, and she's a pretty cool character. Like, right now, who are our female examples? You got Sif, Jane Foster, Peggy Carter, Black Widow, and I guess Betty Ross and Pepper Potts. This is probably our coolest one at the moment, besides Black Widow. It really is Tommy Lee Jones just being Tommy Lee Jones. He's probably the best character in the whole thing, and he's not acting. Like, he's not at all. Like, he's got some of the better lines, like, let's go find two more after shooting a Hydra agent, after saying, cut off one head and two more pop up. It's like, oh, kills him, let's find two more. Like, that's a really good line. Or Captain America getting kissed by Peggy, and then he's looking at him for some reason, like, I'm not gonna kiss you. And when he throws a grenade, like, what scene do you remember? That's the most memorable scene for me, is the grenade throw, when Steve jumps on the grenade. He's like, well, he's still skinny. Like, they just give him a bunch of good one-liners. Although, the person with the best one-liner is, somebody get that boy a sandwich. Like, oh my god. That's my favorite line. But it's good. It's good. It's good. I liked it a lot. Oh. There's just things that are kind of silly, like, when he's first rescuing the guy, he's like, you sure you can do this? He's like, yeah, I knocked out Adolf Hitler over 200 times. And all the soldiers are confused. Because they should be. Like, what was that supposed to convey, Steve? What was that supposed to convey? I don't understand. It's like, yeah, I've totally practiced for fighting a bunch of Nazis. Yeah. What? Very confused. He's like, wait, we've won the war 200 times? What's he talking about? It's so interesting that they're so focused on fighting Hydra, we don't, see all the stuff with Hitler and stuff like that. Like, they're winning World War II in their own way, but they're not involved in World War II exactly. It's weird. Like they're in it, but it's like a secret part of it. A weird thing is, like, there's that part where the movie slows down because Steve has to go be Captain America to get the suit. And, like, it feels like a contrivance. Like, he gets the suit because there needs to be a reason why he got that freaking suit. And then the other thing is because he's kind of like a shy guy, so he learns charisma as well when he's on stage. That scene serves a lot of purposes. It just feels like it just slows the movie down, because it kind of does. But then he goes ahead and earns being Captain America, and they change his suit into a pretty cool incarnation. Like, it's like a leather, more military suit. It's also a biker suit. Oh, I just remembered, was it in Avengers 2, he throws his bike? That's going to be cool. I remember that now. Oh yeah, Bucky. Freaking Bucky, when it first happened, I made no assumption of Winter Soldier, I think. No, I knew about Winter Soldier. I assumed Winter Soldier's coming. Yeah, I did, because when Winter Soldier comes, I already knew it was Bucky. But thinking about it for anyone who didn't know the comics, Bucky's death is like, okay, Bucky's dead. But also the other thing is, they went out of their way to make Red Skull's reveal like a big thing. But, like, everyone knew he was Red Skull. It was weird. Like, Bucky's whole thing is kind of curious, because Bucky, he goes from the guy who protects Steve to the guy who's being protected by Steve. And then they do have a homage, because the moment before Bucky dies, He's holding the shield and he's using a gun. And that's what he is later on, because eventually he takes the Captain America mantle from Steve, and that's what he does. He has a shield and a gun, because that's an interesting combination. And I don't think he throws it. I don't think he knows how to throw it. I'm going to assume that right now. But it's just interesting. And yeah, all that with Bucky. The stuff with Zola, though, I'm trying to remember if they had the retcon that later, or like the time setup with Zola, I think, might be weird because of him and Winter Soldier. I'm not sure. Red Skull and the Tesseract. I'm trying to remember if at first I assumed he was killed by the Tesseract, or if I knew if I could tell what transported him. Because if you're paying attention, yeah, he just gets warped somewhere. But it does look like he's dead because he's getting slowly disintegrated and warped. I think I assumed he got teleported, but I know a bunch of people assumed he got killed because of just the way it looks. And it is the Space Stone. That's what the Space Stone do. I think the last thing to talk about has got to be the post-credit scene, which is the Avengers preview. It just looks kind of cheesy how the preview is, because it says some assembly required. Some assembly required for that preview of Avengers. And like, that was the whole thing. It's like, Captain America will return in the Avengers. Like, oh! And then we get his scene, which is kind of in the movie, and then we get just the preview of the movie, and it's like, it feels like a TV trailer is really what it was. Like a TV trailer for a TV show, more so than a movie. Or even a trailer for a DVD. Like, it's not a great trailer. But it is like, a sneak peek for the movie or whatever. And then Avengers happens. Avengers next, isn't it? We're doing Avengers next. So, holy crap. And I was wrong. So, yeah, it's The Dark Knight was the first one to break $1 billion, then Avengers. But Avengers did get a hell of a lot more money than The Dark Knight. So, there's that. Like, Dark Knight's barely breaks $1 billion. Avengers gets $1.5 billion. So, pretty good for them. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, last thing is, of course, the list. Where does Captain America go on the list? And for me, I'm putting it over Iron Man. And Jinx is putting it where? So that's Jinx's right there. It's Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, and Iron Man 2. Puts Thor over Captain America and Iron Man. And I put, so, and for me, it's Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man 2. And then the next one's going to be Avengers. So Avengers is going to be we can just sit right now. Number 1 Avengers. Like, just beats all of those, just easily. But, can't wait. It's been a long time since I've seen Avengers, so that's going to be a good one right there. But that right there is us going over Captain America, the first Avenger. Next time will be the Avengers. So that right there is the video. I had fun talking about it, fun watching and listening. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Let's come by and see you next time.